Okay, so we have a big breaking news coming out. Russia threatens NATO nations with revenge nuclear strikes as Vladimir expands military bases along Finnish border. All right, so we are definitely seeing nation against nation building up here. Vladimir stockpiling tanks on border of key NATO country as WW3 fears soar. Wow. All right, so it's not over yet for the bear, and we are definitely seeing something going on in Pakistan and India, two nuclear powers, and you can't forget about Iran and the Mid East and Holy Land. So we are definitely seeing nation against nations and kingdom against kingdom. All right, so we're gonna start with this one here. The New York Post is putting out this information. Do me a favor, hit that like button. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe, hit that notification for future updates and live stream. And for those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida, 34691. Thank you so much for your support, guys. And again, let's see what's going on with this news. The Bear, Russia. The Bear former president claimed NATO newest member are potential targets. Oh, they're talking about Finland. For revenge, strike using nuclear. Oh, come on, man. Using nuclear in the event of war as the Kremlin expands its military bases along the Finnish border. So this is a new member to the alliance, NATO. All right, so you have Finland, Sweden. They're the two newest member of NATO. And I think it was back in 2023 they joined the alliance. Sweden and NATO could be in the Kremlin's crosshairs for joining Western military alliance, NATO, following the 2022 operation of Ukraine. Now, former leader Dmitry suggested, according to the TASS state news agency. Yeah, but this is... They joined NATO in 2023. That was like 2 years ago. I guess they still want revenge for those two countries joining NATO. They are part of a bloc hostile to us, which means they have automatically become targets for our armed forces, including potential retaliatory strikes and even a nuclear component or preventive measures within the framework of military doctrine. The former leader of Russia, Dmitry, who was in office from 2008 to 2012, said. Wow. Look at this. They do have tanks. They have tanks. I'm seeing a lot of military equipments, tank, armor vehicles. It's happening all over the place. It's happening in India, in Pakistan. It's happening in Ukraine. It's happening in Russia. It's happening in the Mid East. It's happening all over the place. Eventually, someone's gonna drop the big one. I'm talking about the mushroom cloud. Someone is gonna drop it. They have simply ended up in the crosshairs of our armed forces. Has life become better for them? No. These are political games, he said. Stockholm and Helsinki have long warned residents to be ready for war over fears that the two nations will be the next target of the bear invasion ambitions should Ukraine fall. Now, we do have some more information about Ukraine, and it's very important to keep you guys updated with these nation against nations. Definitely witnessing Bible prophecy happening right in front of our faces. Now, the bear, Russia, they are definitely in Bible prophecy. They are, again, when it comes to the king of the north, the northern part of the country, which is Russia. They are very powerful, extremely powerful country with very powerful nuclear. They can make the sun block in multiple regions. They have warned Europe about acting silly. The Bear leader, Vladimir, and the Kremlin have now expanded their bases along the Finnish border, including in the city of, I'm going to skip that name, just 100 miles from the border, the Wall Street Journal reported. The bases are meant to serve as a new army headquarters for tens of thousands of troops over the next several years, all for the singular purpose of facing off against NATO, Western military and intelligence official warned. Not only that, but the reason, give me a second here. Not only that, but the reason why they are sending military out there, border between Russia and Finland, the reason why is because they don't trust Finland. Because Finland has joined NATO. Again, that's the reason why. They don't trust NATO. Russia don't trust NATO. All right, so it says here when the troops are back from Ukraine, they will be looking over the border at a country they consider an adversary. Ruslan, director of the Center for the Analyst of Strategies and Technology think tank in Moscow, told the Wall Street Journal. The logic of the last decade shows we're expecting some conflict with NATO, he warned. The fears are further exacerbated by Vladimir's call to expand Russia's military ranks to as many as 1.5 million troops. Man, up from around 1 million before Ukraine invasion. Moscow has also upped its military spending this year to more than 6% of its GDP, nearly 3 times as much as what European nations spend on average. Yet, many of the new weapons and armored vehicles have yet to be deployed in Ukraine, with experts suggesting the Bear is saving the arms for future troops along the borders, with Moscow military might growing faster than Western intelligence previously predicted. Some NATO member nations closest to the Bear have begun fortifying their borders and preparing for the worst. Notably, Poland, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania have all withdrawn from the international treaty banning anti-personnel mines, suggesting the nations are bracing for a possible ground invasion. Denmark's top intelligence agency also warned earlier this year that the Bear will be fully capable of launching war in Europe within the next 5 years if it's believed NATO is too weak to defend itself. I don't see that happening. I'm sorry, guys. I just don't see that happening. I don't see the Bear invading Europe. The Bear invading NATO members. It's like you sneaking into Mike Tyson's house and you slap him in the face while he's sleeping and he wakes up and look at you. Game over. Game over. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. I don't know why the Western keep thinking that that the Bear's gonna invade. Those are very powerful tanks. You have this news coming out. Germany triggers defense emergency clause as Russian threat looms. They're really serious about this. Give me a second here. Here's the thing, guys. The reason why I believe is because Ukraine is almost done. Is almost over. And so they believe that Europe will be next. That's why. Germany has asked the European Union to activate an emergency clause that will allow the country to rapidly increase its defense budget without violating the bloc's fiscal rules. Now, the ongoing Russian threat and the shifting global landscape prompted German Defense Minister to send a letter to the EU, the content of which were seen by political. And it says here, under current EU guidelines, member states are allowed to raise their defense budget by up to 1.5% of GDP annually for 4 years. While some country remains cautious about invoking this clause, Germany, which is not heavily indebted, has made rearmament one of its top priorities. Incoming Chancellor Frederick, whose coalition gov will officially take power next month, has approved, I'm going to skip that currency there, investment plan. The new German gov has also pledged additional weapons to Ukraine as peace talks with Russia remains at a standstill. All right, so again, nations are preparing. Nations are preparing for worst case scenario. And then you have this news that's coming out. There's a lot of news coming out here. According to Ukraine, Vladimir nears the million threshold. It says here, Ukrainian armed forces reported on Tuesday, April 29, that the number of combat losses suffered by the Bear Army since the start of the invasion has risen to over 950,000. I'm sorry, guys, but this number is, I don't believe it. I don't believe it one bit. I'm sorry. I just don't believe it. I don't. So here's what Zelensky said. He only, again, Ukraine only lost 47 or 49,000 soldiers, right? But Russia lost almost 1 million. Again, it's just crazy. It's hard for me to actually believe stuff like that. It's just insane. So, ladies and gentlemen, in other words, Zelensky is a better warrior and a better leader than King David. He made King David look so bad. And you know King David. King David, he took down Goliath. He took down enemies. Thousands, and he was this mighty warrior. He was, his strength, he had God. He's just amazing leader for the Holy Land, for Israel. But Zelensky made him look so bad. Zelensky is like, hey, King David, I took out 1 million soldiers in 3 years. How many soldiers you took out? Again, I'm sorry, guys, but I don't believe anything that comes out of Ukraine. I'm sorry, man. So almost 1 million of the Bear soldiers out. Meanwhile, in Ukraine, there's only 47 or 49,000. I'm sorry, I'm not going to believe that. The general staff of the Ukrainian army stated in a communique published on their Facebook account that the Bear armed forces have suffered approximately 950,860. Wow. Casualties, including 1,060 taken out and wounded in the last day. In this regard, the Ukrainian highlighted that the Bear troops have lost 10,728 tanks, 22,352 armored vehicles, 27,080 artillery system, 370 airplanes, 335 helicopters, 34,177 drones, 28 ships, and a submarine, among other military equipment, missed the hostility. I'm sorry. I think they made a mistake here. I think it's the opposite. I'm sorry, guys. They might have made a mistake in this one here. Now we have Donald is coming to the rescue. Donald said he is saving Ukraine. Now let's stop here for a second. So I just read to you guys the number of the bear soldiers, almost 1 million. So if Crane is doing an amazing job and obliterating all the equipments that belong to the bear, why is Donald coming to rescue Crane? I mean, Ukraine only lost 49,000 soldiers, according to Zelensky. That's what he said. So you don't need Donald. You're doing amazing. You are crushing the bear. You don't need Donald. In other words, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of phony baloney reports that's coming out about these numbers. That nation will be crushed very shortly. Donald insists he is saving Ukraine. Donald said he believes he is saving Ukraine from collapse, even as he declined to directly commit to supply additional equipment to Kiev during an interview with The Atlantic published April 28th. Oh, wow. The Atlantic? Really? Come on, Donald. They did something really, really, really bad to you and your administration. In a conversation with the Atlantic editor, Goldberg? That's the one that was again in that group chat. Remember that text of the Yemen military operation March 15? Goldberg's the one that released it. So okay, so this man right here his name is Rising. All right, so Goldberg, he's the one that sat down with, I guess, Donald and had this talk about saving Ukraine. Donald said this: I think I'm saving that nation, referring to Ukraine. I think that nation will be crushed very soon or shortly. It's a big biblical war machine. I think I'm doing a great service to Ukraine. I believe that. He uses the word I think too much, meaning that he's not sure yet. I mean, again, is he saving that country? No, he's not. He's not. I mean, that country is towards, again, when it comes to the biblical war, it's just being torn upside down. Donald remarks come as his administration warned to withdraw from ongoing peace negotiation if talk fail to produce results within the coming days. Okay. So I want to take you to one more spot right here really quick. All right, so it seems like it's the end. It's the final countdown. All right, so give me a second here. Ukraine negotiation have hit a dead end. This got to end. This biblical war, it has to end. The ongoing efforts by the sleeping giant to negotiate a cease plan or even a peace in the Bear-Crane conflict have hit a dead end, according to well-placed sources in the sleeping giant gov. Vladimir insists that the Bear control over 4 regions of Ukraine, Luhansk, Donetsk, Kherson, and Zaporizhia, be part of any agreement to end the biblical war. Crane refuses to accept these long-stated conditions. Hence, there appears to be no route to a cease plan. Apparently, Crane believes it can thrive the bear out of its country. The only trouble is, Crane will need almost every weapons system, rocket, and missiles that the West can produce over the next few years in order to accomplish that. And the West is so depleted of equipment, it cannot provide that level of military support. In other words, taking all those soldiers, almost 1 million, is not stopping the bear. So in order for Crane to win this war, And to retake back those territory, they need our help. And they need a lot of equipment. A lot. And it's going to last possibly 5 years, possibly 10 years. Ukraine does not seem to grasp that they are losing more and more territory every day, and there is no hope of putting a stop to that, short of NATO making official entry into the conflict and thereby triggering WW3. If they do realize that, then they are expecting the entire civilized world to go to nuclear war for them. This is not going to happen, said one source. The Bear has offered a 3-day siege plan May 7, 8, and 9 in order to celebrate the victory over, again, World War II, 80 years ago. Now, Ukraine has rejected that offer, demanding instead a 30-day siege plan, but without any way for the Bear to confirm Ukraine is not being rearmed. Both Donald and the VP Vance are now publicly acknowledging this fact. Donald said, Ukrainian just don't appreciate my generous peace initiatives. I mean, I'm practically saving their entire nation. And if they don't realize it soon, well, too bad. Because that nation about to be crushed by Russia. Huge military machine. Let's be honest, Donald said. Right. But again, according to Zelensky, almost 1 million Bear soldiers were gone in 3 years. But yeah, I don't see that happening. Vance said if the biblical war continues, Ukraine will inevitably lose it. The vice president also assessed that continuing the conflict could also result in nuclear. He needs to go. I mean, like I said, Zelensky needs to go. The man only want to continue with this biblical war. Money coming in, and it just, enough is enough, man. You know how many widows are out there now because their husband was thrown in the front line? Many young ones don't have a dad. Where's your dad? They snatched him and put him in the front line. I don't have one now. Sad. Worse, Ukraine intelligence went on video this week openly saying that even if the biblical war ends, it will be the job of the intelligence community to hunt down and take out the Bear Gov official for the next 10, 20, maybe 30 years. In the video interview, the intel guy said they will not only be afraid to leave the Bear, they will be afraid to even leave their houses inside the Bear, presumably for fear of being out. One of the Bear's supporting source asked me rhetorically, how can we make peace with people who think like this? And ladies and gentlemen, that's where we at right now. That is where we at. Nation against nations is not looking good in this end times that we are living. There's no peace. There's no peace. And the situation is just getting worse and worse and worse. You got all these countries just talking about nuclear. We have never seen anything like this. And it's just, our time, you cannot compare our time to previous years. Because our time, we have technology, AI, that is just booming. Back in the days, we didn't have stuff like that. We had tanks, we had, all that type of stuff. But now we have drones, we have all these new stuff, cyber all over the place. We definitely seeing something here, guys. This new biblical war is a whole new ball game. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please share the video. For those of you that want to send us a letter, it's a prayer request, you send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida, 34691. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you all. Put faith and trust in Jesus Christ, for he's the only way, the truth, and the life. No one gets to the Father except through Jesus. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time later. Peace.